Guys, Bitcoin is going through some big changes. This is almost the start of what is usually the best quarter for Bitcoin. And in today's video, I'll show you whether I think and I'll back it up with charts that the next quarter, quarter 4, will be as bullish as the previous 4 quarters in Bitcoin's past. We do have a lot of pictures that show things very clearly. Okay guys, stay with it from the start to the end. I'm going to tell you the truth about what I think will happen with Bitcoin. As I already said, there are a lot of important facts to think about here about how Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies will do in the coming months. You should get ready now, not in December or November when it's already too late. You need to get ready and plan your move right now. Make sure you watch this whole video from the beginning to the end. Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Chris and I teach you how to make money in the cryptocurrency market every day in a video. If this is your first time on the channel, please join and make the bell go off right away. So let's start with Bitcoin on shorter periods and the daily time frame, guys. Here it's easy to see that there was a drop. And sadly, we closed with a red candle right below the orange box. The bulls then stepped in and saw an opportunity and pushed us back up to $59,000. It looks like we're beginning to tilt down again though. On the 4-hour period, you can see that we also closed with a red candle. The bull then came in and the price went up. But you know, I've been saying for a while that Bitcoin looks weaker on shorter time frames. You can see that the wicks did have a big bounce if you zoom out. In the end, there was another light that burned out close to the edge of this orange box. After that, you saw something bounce. The bounce wasn't as strong as this one though. In the end, there was another light going out just above the orange box. The next wick took us even lower than the ones before it, inside and below the orange box. Finally, what you saw yesterday. Did you see a red light close below this orange box? You saw one of those 2 days ago. So Bitcoin doesn't look very strong on shorter time frames right now, and most people think September will be a bad month for Bitcoin. But my strategy is still the same, and yes, if we go down, if we break down, I still think that this orange box will be strong support on something like the daily time frame. Even though a candle did end below it, I still think this will be a pretty strong support. But if we fall below it, you do have 55 as support, and then you have 51. And that's also where I'll get more things to add to my trade. On a daily scale, you can see that we're still below this key trend line, which is a very interesting trend line. When you look at standard markets, they still really look good. I need to quickly go through these numbers because after what I've been saying for the past few days, there's really not that much to say. That being said, I think we should pay attention to a few different on-chain plots right now. For this reason, Bitcoin seems to be very popular right now. If you watched my last movie, you'll see that it looked like Bitcoin wanted to get a little more popular. And you can see that we're stabilizing at a local top right now. This usually means that Bitcoin will continue to dominate, which means that Bitcoin will continue to do better than altcoins. I'm not saying that every altcoin will always be a wild card, but Bitcoin seems to want to do better than the altcoin market as a whole. I'm going to show you some very important charts now. The Bitcoin Pure multiple is shown on this chart. What does the Pure multiple mean? To find the Pure multiple, divide the daily value of Bitcoins issued in US dollars by 365. This gives you the annual moving average of the daily value of Bitcoins issued. To put it simply, this measure looks at the Bitcoin economy supply side, which includes Bitcoin miners and the money they make. That's the facts behind it then. You can see that we've dropped from 0.8 on this number to somewhere between 0.8 and 0.6 right now. Why is this important? Anyway, you can see that whenever we've dropped below 0.6, it's been a very interesting time for both the Pure multiple and the Bitcoin price, as you can see by the big jumps around that level. This is proof that it took place. Boom, straight up. The price of Bitcoin went up. The price of Bitcoin is shown by the white line on this picture. Indeed, it did happen here too, even though you saw a week down. It did go up after that though, both here and elsewhere. We're right now in this place. Then what happens if we really start to fall below 0.6? Seriously, there's not something terrible going on. On most occasions, it gives us a very good DCA zone. So if we break down from here, it's usually the best time to buy Bitcoin and build up a position in it. You can see that we broke down right here. We went below, all the way down to below 0.4, and yes, the price of Bitcoin did go down. But take a look at what came next. The price of Bitcoin went up by a huge amount. In the same way, this was the very bottom of this. So if we break down from 0.6 again and go down even further, this chart shows that that's usually a great time to buy in and build your position, as long as you plan to keep it for a while. We fell below 0.6, which you can also see here. This was also a great chance to buy in and build up the stock. At the end of the day, everyone wins. We either bounce off of the 0.6 level, and when we do that, the price of Bitcoin tends to go up, and even if we fall below that point, you know that usually means a very good time of accumulation. After that, Bitcoin gets a big boost, right? The Bitcoin Sharpe ratio is something else I want to show you. In case you forgot, what is the Bitcoin Sharpe ratio? The Sharpe ratio looks at how much an investment pays off compared to how risky it is. Of course, this is the exact method, but I believe it is better to leave it this way. The Sharpe ratio looks at how much an investment paid off compared to how risky it was. That's why the expected return. Here, let's take a look at the Sharpe ratio. You can see that we are now at the same level as we were in September 2023. This is where you can see it. We did see that we went down in September when we were at this point. From this point on, you saw Bitcoin take a big jump. Guys, this happened over a longer period of time. This has been going on for months. Are we going to see the same thing that you saw? Of course, only time will tell. One thing I will say is that we did go down to the Sharpe ratio in 22 and 22, and we were at the same point here. There was a little bit of a bounce, but then things started to get even worse for Bitcoin. This isn't a very exact chart, it's just saying that we'll bounce from here, because that's what we did before. I think the most important thing is to note that we did get back on track the last time this happened. Will it happen again? We'll see you soon, but there are a few very important things you should remember. There are a lot of things going on in quarter 4. That's right, the Fed is lowering rates. The US election is going on right now. Why do I click on that over and over? Fourth quarter, positive seasonality, and FTX creditors being paid back. I really don't like that thing. I believe they just recently put this in place. Is there something else? There is, of course. Let's begin with the US race. In the US election, Donald Trump is once again in the lead with 51% of the vote. This is good news for bulls. Now, starting in the fourth quarter, FTX will also return $16 billion worth of stable coins and cash to its debtors. So it's likely that a lot of this money will be put back into the crypto market to buy blockchain and other cryptocurrencies. The fourth quarter already looks very, very good for the bulls. Another thing we think about is that the fourth quarter is usually the most bullish for Bitcoin, even without those other things. In general, September is a very bad month. That's why I want you to get ready right now. Given everything that is going on, if September is gloomy and prices go down, now could be the best time to set yourself up for the fourth quarter. Was there something else? Yes, there is a lot of gold around. In fact, the price of Bitcoin, gold has been going up and up and up. Why does this happen? Well, it turns out that central banks bought a record 483 tons of goods around the world in the first half of 2024. That number